2 young lives jolted by gun violence.
The times are changing. Everything's getting a little bit worse.
A shooting shatters the veil of safety at an iconic family destination.
As a parent, myself, monitor your kids. It's easy to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Tonight, First Coast News investigates downtown safety and the role all gun owners play in the growing plague of violence. First Coast News at 11 starts now.
And we continue to follow that developing story tonight. 2 young people, they were just 13 years old, 16 years old, shot at the Jacksonville Landing this afternoon. I'm Anthony Austin, and tonight police are still trying to find the person or maybe the people responsible for the shooting.
It was a chaotic scene outside of the landing this afternoon where crowds were still lingering after the Martin Luther King Day parade. And we have team coverage for you tonight. We begin with Stephen Dial, who is outside the landing with the latest on the shooting. And Stephen, when you see the front door of the landing shattered, it is jarring.
It was, Heather, and right now JSO is questioning multiple people. They have multiple people detained, and I'm going to step out of the shot. Right now the police tape is down and crews are actively working to replace the shattered windows at the Jacksonville Landing.
Yeah. Love you can hear it, multiple gunshots.
As hundreds filled Jacksonville to celebrate the Martin Luther King holiday, gunshots quickly turned downtown into a crime scene.
Like, people just started running towards Tim Plaza.
2 teens were shot in broad daylight in front of the Jacksonville Landing, a 13-year-old and 16-year-old. The 16-year-old police say is fighting for his life.
And there's people starting to shoot out the doors, the 2 doors that come out. They were coming out, they were scattering like roaches.
Moments after the shooting, officers blocked several streets near the Jacksonville Landing. Witnesses say they heard nearly 10 gunshots.
Kind of why there's families and stuff just everywhere. For someone to come up here and spray, it's pretty crazy.
A witness shared these images of bloody clothes and shattered glass.
Children as young as 13, 14, 15 carrying firearms that their parents don't know anything about. Please, as a parent, myself, monitor your kids. Make sure you know where they're going, who they're going with, and who may have what with them, because it's easy to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And then that investigator said that last soundbite that you heard, he's warning parents and saying that you need to make sure that you know what your kids have. He says in a lot of the recent shootings involving teenagers, they have been with stolen guns from unlocked cars. Now, to continue our team coverage, we want to bring in First Coast News' Julia Janae. Julia, investigators are saying this shooting could be connected to a shooting that happened earlier this year.
That's right, Stephen. Officials today confirming that they believe this afternoon's shooting is related to the shooting that happened during the Art Walk just 2 weeks ago and 2 blocks away from today's shooting. And it's bringing to the forefront again the issue of safety downtown.
On January 4th, surveillance video inside a restaurant captures patrons scrambling just after a shooting at the annual Art Walk downtown. That incident left 2 teenagers wounded, just like the one this MLK holiday afternoon. No arrests have been made in either case.
Some kind of fight that then turned into gunfire. There's no suspect information to put out at this time. We do have several individuals detained.
Investigators saying some of the same people were involved in both shootings, and they're combing through security footage for more clues.
That's one of the things that we're looking into. We're collecting different points of view from the area. There is city cameras here. There are commercial cameras nearby, so that is one of the things that we'll be checking.
The city installed 60 surveillance cameras in 2005 in advance of the Super Bowl. Now, over a decade later, is another mass installment needed. City leaders called the Art Walk incident isolated.
I find that downtown really is a pretty safe place.
And continue to insist the city core is not at risk.
Statistically, this is a very safe part of town. The general public has no problem and should feel safe coming downtown to any of our events.
Now, JSO tells us that this area is well staffed with both on-duty deputies and off-duty officers that are hired by the landing. Again, no information on the suspect has been released at this time, and we'll continue to keep you updated on this both on air and online. Guys.
Thank you, Julia. In Miami, 8 people are hurt tonight after a shooting during an MLK festival. Police say 5 of those victims are younger than 18. The Miami-Dade Police Director called the shooting a shameful closing to the MLK parade. Right now, officers are questioning 2 people. They've also recovered the guns.
And now to some breaking news just coming in. Students at Edward Waters College told tonight to take necessary precautions after shots were reportedly fired near the Kings Road campus. According to the school's Twitter page, it happened near Tiger Landing about an hour ago. Right now, we are working to get more information to find out if anyone was hurt. We checked with JSO and also Jacksonville Fire Rescue. Neither, as far as we can tell, are responding to that area. But again, Edward Waters College reporting shots fired in that vicinity. As we get more information, we will update you. Tomorrow night, the community is invited to celebrate the life of a man who touched thousands of lives here on the First Coast, and he dedicated his time to helping homicide survivors. Glen Mitchell died last week of natural causes. He and his wife founded Compassionate Families almost 2 decades ago after their 14-year-old son, Jeff, was murdered outside of Terry Parker High School. The Mitchells started that organization to help those here in Northeast Florida who've lost loved ones through a violent act. Those who knew him well say that he excelled in teaching the art of forgiveness and learning to live after tragedy. His daughter says he believed everyone deserves a second chance and even befriended one of the people convicted in his son's murder.
For Jeff's legacy to live on, he wanted to focus on the prevention and not the punishment. And that's where so many people are still just so angry, and they're all about the punishment for the crime that happened, and it was more about the prevention so it doesn't happen again.
And the public is invited to attend Glen Mitchell's funeral mass tomorrow night at 6:30. That will happen at Christ the King Catholic Church on Arlington Road in Jacksonville.
And we have some new information tonight about Kamiyah Mobley. She's the young woman found alive we told you about Friday night, 18 years after being kidnapped from a Jacksonville hospital. Sheriff Mike Williams announced today fraud documents helped detectives crack this case. He says Kamiyah Mobley, now known as Alexis Manigo, had a fake Social Security card and a fake birth certificate. And that was revealed after she started applying for jobs. Now, over the weekend,
first meeting was beautiful. It was wonderful. It couldn't have went no better.
You are and how you were related.
Shannara Mobley, and that was her father that you saw there speaking. This is what her father had to say about it. And we do know, as you can see right there, we just heard the sound from the father there, but this is the suspect. That's Gloria Williams. She remains in a South Carolina jail tonight. It's still unclear when she'll be brought back to Jacksonville to face kidnapping charges.
And so far, Alexis has not spoken publicly. She did make a public Facebook post today criticizing a former boyfriend of the woman who raised her after an ABC News interview with him. That man claimed to be part of her life. She, however, posted he did nothing. He didn't even help with nothing, according to her. And we'll continue to follow this story as it develops. For our coverage, head to firstcoastnews.com. There we have an interview with her with her biological father, and also a look at what led us to today, what happened back in 1998 when she was abducted from a hospital here in Jacksonville.
And this coming just into our newsroom right now, the man accused of going on a deadly shooting rampage at a nightclub in Istanbul has been captured. The alleged attacker was caught with his son in a raid inside a home that authorities believe is an ISIS cell. 39 people were killed in the New Year's Eve attack and dozens more were injured.
The FBI has arrested the wife of the Orlando nightclub shooter. Noor Salman was taken into custody today near San Francisco. She faces obstruction of justice charges. She moved to California after her husband was killed in a shootout with the SWAT team during the June 12th massacre at the Pulse nightclub. Attorney General Loretta Lynch discussed the case earlier on MSNBC.
And this is an example of the fact that investigations do continue long after they're publicly discussed, that this is a matter that we continue to take very seriously. It was always our goal, and we said from the beginning, we were going to look at every aspect of this case, of every aspect of this shooter's life, to determine not just why did he take these actions, but who else knew about them. Was anyone else involved? Is there any other accountability that needs to be had here in this case?
49 people were killed in that attack. The killer pledged allegiance to ISIS during a standoff with police.
Happening tomorrow, Jacksonville Transportation Authority is holding a public forum to give the community an update on the Skyway system. Last month, JTA revealed a new look for the Skyway vehicles, including new stops around the urban core. That forum is open to the public. Once again, it is tomorrow at 4:30 and it will go until 7. It's going to be held at the main library on Laura Street.
Well, big change tonight for a popular gambling cruise in Jacksonville. The Victory 2 has been temporarily moved to another location. That cruise will now be sailing out of Port Canaveral due to intense marine weather conditions. Officials say the good news is Port Canaveral has near perfect cruise conditions during its high season. So if you had any plans to book a Victory cruise, it will now be sailing out of Port Canaveral. That's about 2 hours south of Jacksonville.
The greatest show on earth will soon take its final bow.
After 146 years.
Oh, yeah. Interesting reasons why it's shutting down.
Okay, this incredible moment captured on camera. A shark jumps out of the water not once, not twice. Wait till you see what he does.
And is it winter or spring? We've got temperatures in the lower 80s for the next couple of days and then rain chances by the end of the week. We've got your forecast after the break.
Today, Martin Luther King Jr. Day is being celebrated all across the country and the world, but it took 15 years to create the federally recognized holiday. 4 days after Dr. King was assassinated in 1968, Michigan Congressman John Conyers introduced a legislation for the federal holiday. In 1973, Illinois signed the King Holiday Bill into law. Then in 74 and 75, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and New Jersey followed suit and enacted statewide holidays. Dr. King's wife, Coretta Scott King, fought for several years and testified before federal lawmakers about a King holiday bill. In 1982, she and Stevie Wonder presented petitions with more than 6 million signatures in support of the holiday to the Speaker of the House. The following year, President Ronald Reagan signed the bill establishing the third Monday of every January as MLK Day. The first time it was officially observed was in 1986, and today the King holiday is celebrated in U.S. installations and is observed by local groups in more than 100 countries.
The longest running circus in history is shutting down after 146 years. The Ringling Brothers, they say that ticket sales have been falling for years and dropped off sharply after the circus removed elephants from the show. Several animal rights groups reacted online saying the end of the circus was long overdue.
And for more than 14 decades, Ringling Brothers have been abusing and killing their animal performers. We are so glad that this is finally coming to an end.
The circus world's going to continue on. I believe that Ringling maybe just didn't make the right adjustments to keep it alive.
And experts say the fall of the show could also be attributed to shorter attention spans. A study revealed that the average person's attention span in this wild world of technology and with all this social media is down to about 8 seconds.
Wow.
The final performance will take place on May 21st, but the circus is performing here in Jacksonville this weekend. Tickets are still available.
Okay, for the next 8 seconds, you got to look at this jaw-dropping video of a very close encounter with a shark. And what the shark does, well, it's something some Florida fishermen won't soon forget. Look at this.
That was so much. Oh, I got it on video. I got it on video.
Okay, you can hear the excitement in their voice. If you're watching this, maybe it was a little longer than 8 seconds. The shark actually jumps out of the water in front of these fishermen 3 times. This happened off the coast of Indian Rocks Beach, which is here in Florida. The shark believed to be about 12 feet long.
Now to some video that's also blowing up on social media. This dinosaur is what I call it. It's a gigantic gator. It's been seen taking a stroll across a preserve. It was spotted near Tampa this afternoon. It's so huge you might have a hard time believing that it's actually real, but police say it definitely is. Our sister station in Tampa takes a closer look.
Only a small group of people were lucky enough, or depending on how you feel about alligators, unlucky enough to see the massive prehistoric beast Sunday. It moseys its way across the walking path before slipping back into the swamp at the nature preserve in Lakeland.
And just watching his feet flop as they hit the ground was amazing. In my imagination, I could feel the ground shake. Obviously, it didn't.
Christy Buckley snapped these pictures and watched it happen from just feet away.
I probably should have been a little more afraid than I was. I was just so inspired by seeing this amazing creature come across the path, who'd obviously been there for decades.
In fact, it's been there so long, the regulars call it Mr. Humpback. Christy has a different name for it.
My husband and I are calling him Godzilla because that's kind of what he looked like going across the path.
I talked to a wildlife expert. Just based on the video, he estimates the gator could be up to 15 feet long and weigh more than 800 pounds. I'm about 6'1" and weigh about 185 pounds, so that would be 2.5 times my height and more than 4 times my weight.
There's the 2 right there that are on top of each other. There's 3 of them down here.
Circle B Bar Reserve was packed Monday. Millions of people have seen the video on social media, and some of them came here to get a glimpse of the gargantuan gator in person.
I thought it was huge, and I hope to see it today.
I saw the video, I was like, I gotta find that gator. I mean, I love going out and looking for gators.
Zoe Hewitt is pretty sure she spotted it.
We've been out here for maybe 5-10 minutes, so really lucky.
But Christy Buckley knows the up-close and personal view she got of the modern-day dinosaur will be hard to beat.
So I don't think that would be my reaction to go and try and find that and stand very close. And oh my gosh!
I would stay as far away from it as I possibly could because I believe that thing could eat me.
It is
You know, he
huge.
looks like a little bit of an old man, though. I mean, you don't know if he has too
Probably
much
not maybe too
agility.
fast, you hope, but one open of his mouth and you're
You can
gone.
tell he
Hey.
has been around for a long time.
Yes, he knows the ropes.
Yes, he
So
does.
we don't want to mess
Wow.
with him.
Only in Florida, right?
Yeah. Well, hey guys, I'm kind of wondering, is it winter or spring? I'm sure all the alligators are kind of confused as well. Temperatures today were near 80 degrees. So nice to kind of walk around the park, I guess, and go gator hunting, I guess. Oh, anyways, 81 tomorrow, 82 by Tuesday, and then we'll still stay very warm and above average for the next couple of days. At least this work week, we're going to be about 15 degrees above average as far as temperatures go. Another thing, because of the warmth, we're seeing those winds come off the Atlantic, which is bringing a bit more moisture in our atmosphere, which is resulting in some fog across the region. And you got to take it easy on the roadways tomorrow morning because we're going to see visibilities that could be about less than 1/4 of a mile, which just means it's really tough to see the cars in front of you. So just beware. We're already seeing some dense fog advisories in coastal Camden and Glen counties, and drivers just really have to use caution. These dense fog advisories likely to spread farther inland and possibly south as we head into the morning commute. Current temperatures across the board, 58 at JIA right now, 61 in Fernandina, 61 in Mayport. If you look at the dew points, they're very similar to those actual air temperatures, which is why we're seeing the fog begin to develop. And also when that wind becomes calm overnight, it doesn't really allow things to mix up a bit. So those water droplets just kind of stay put and they linger, and that's why we see the dense fog. So especially at the coast and then spreading inland by the morning hours. 54 degrees for our overall low temperature, a little bit of a chill, but still pretty pleasant out there. 81 tomorrow, feeling like springtime. You know, I'd say go to the beaches, but once you stick your toes in the water, you'll remember it is still winter. South wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, our weather headlines overall, we've got that spring warmth continuing. We've got very foggy mornings ahead, not only tomorrow, but then also on Wednesday. Now, late week rain and weekend storms possible. So that is good news because we do need the rain. We've got that active pattern to the north and to the west. However, we're staying nice and quiet here at least through Wednesday. That's when we're going to see this warm and dry pattern begin to break off a bit. Thursday is when those rain chances pop back into the picture. So for your 7-day forecast, we are rather toasty tomorrow and Wednesday, into the 80s across the region. 84 is that record high temperature for Jacksonville. Tomorrow, I think we're going to stay just below that. However, our overnight temperature is going to be in the 50s, but then look at this as we head towards the end of the week. We're going to be seeing those rain chances and possible storms by Sunday afternoon. Chris Porter, over to you.
Hello, Doug Marrone continued to add to his coaching staff, the new coach coming to the River City, and the latest on Chip Kelly. Plus, hey ladies, it was senior night over at Reebok High School tonight, and Renee Davis, she was ballin', folks. We're pumping up the volume. Next in sports.
His mission was always something bigger than himself, and you think of all the great things that are going on to now. He's directly responsible for all that. So it's a great day to honor such a man, a fine man that did so much for the civil rights movement.
Providence head boys basketball coach Jim Martin, like so many of us, reflected on the life of civil rights icon Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on MLK Day. Hello, everybody. There are reports Kelly Chip Kelly was back in the River City for a second interview. Kelly interviewed for the head coaching job before the Jaguars announced Marrone as their guy. This time he was back trying to get the Jaguars offensive coordinator job. Imagine for a second what Kelly would be able to do if he were able to be the OC for Blake Bortles. Now, it's important to note the Jaguars have not parted ways with Nathaniel Hackett. The NFC Championship game is set for this Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock in Atlanta. That's where the Atlanta Falcons will face the Green Bay Packers for the right to play in the Super Bowl. Many of you watched the Packers' thrilling win over Dallas last night. While in the AFC, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots. The Steelers used 6 field goals to beat the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead last night. The Pats had an NFL record 6 straight AFC title game. Kickoff is slated for around 6:40. Reebok pressing lady Trojan Raya Davis made the girls' East McDonald's All-American squad. Davis, who is committed to Tennessee, is one of the best prep girls basketball players in the land. It only adds to what has been an impressive career for her. As you know, she helped lead Reebok to a state and national title last season. Davis won't be alone in Chicago. She'll be joined by Providence head coach Jim Martin. A lot going on behind the scenes. Let's get to the action tonight. This is not where we were supposed to be. Renaya Davis showing you why she's averaging 30 points per game, down in the paint, going to work. Julius Payton, Reigns head coach, he's saying, can somebody please try and stop Davis? It did not work. This time they get it to her just inside the three-point line, and that jumper's deep. Double OD good. Renaya had a double-double, 21 points, 11 rebounds. Danisha Banks added 18 points. Reebok went on to win 77-37. Now that is Providence head coach Jim Martin. He will be joining Renaya Davis in Chicago on March 29th. He's coaching the boys' East squad in the All-American game. He talked about how special, how big this opportunity is.
It's probably the biggest all-star game in the world. It takes the top 24 basketball players in the country. They come to Chicago the last week in March, play the game on a Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, national ESPN game. And it's these kids that are superstars that have such a bright future.
Hashtag Team Sideline, and why it's rare we cover hockey in these parts. We know there's some hockey fans on our first coast, Chicago Blackhawk Marian Hossa, in this Instagram photo. Thanks, Orco23, for posting this picture using the hashtag Team Sideline. Just witnessed some live TV. We're back with your Fantasy 5 winning numbers after this timeout.